For the first time ever, I am sharing the framework with you that I only share with my high-level clients in mastermind containers that is going to drastically scale the results in your business. Now, we're talking the clients I work with are already at multiple six figures going to multiple seven and beyond. So if you're looking to shift the results you're currently creating in your paradigm, this is for you. Now, this isn't about working harder or another strategy. This is not a business strategy course. This is not a manifestation course. This is the work that's actually going to make the work that you're already doing work easier, more effective, more efficient. And how do I know that? Well, I've worked with hundreds, if not thousands of you at this point. And what actually creates results is not what most people think it is. And this framework is going to walk you through that step-by-step process to understand, one, what is currently creating your results right now? What would that do for you in your life and your business when you think about having exact clarity of what's actually creating my results right now? What does that do for you? Because once we become aware of something, we then have the power to shift and change it. But two, it's going to actually shift into not only awareness of what's creating your current results, how do I create the desired results that I actually want without taking more of my time, working harder, or doing more strategies? Because it's not about that at this level. And we've all heard concepts like, what got us here doesn't get us there. You've heard this before, right? Well, take a pulse check right now in your business. What got us here to this level right now of income in my business, my lifestyle, the white space I have in my calendar or don't have, is not going to get me there. And we can hear these concepts conceptually, but are we actually embodying that? Are we actually living through that? Because if I keep doing the same things day to day, if I keep doing the same strategies, the same work, the inbox is always full, the next achievement's always there. If I'm in this space and I'm actually just doing the same similar things, maybe a bit different, working a bit harder, every month that goes by costs you and dilutes your income. Maybe some of you feel like you should be living more and doing less, and yet you find yourself on a constant hamster wheel thinking, next month will be easier. How many of us are stuck there? And we have these concepts, but genuinely, when we get to a space of every month that I keep going operating in this capacity, in this current paradigm, is diluting my income and my peace. And I know some of you have created massive results. They're good results. On paper, they're amazing to most people. You know, people looking on the outside looking in would be like, wow, everything's amazing. You have everything. And you have. You wanted everything that you have right now, you're super grateful for, some of us in quotations, but it's coming at a cost. And if people only really knew how you felt and what was going on behind the scenes, for some of us, we'd feel embarrassed because even though we've achieved things most people dream of, it's still coming at a cost. Even though we make good money, more money never feels like enough or good to your nervous system. And we're still in this constant state of low level stress, pressure, and scarcity. No one would have a clue looking in though. And this is what we want to shift. I know if you're listening to this too, you're not new to personal development. You've read the books, you listen to the podcast, you work with the coaches, you've done a lot of the inner work. Some of us are maybe new to it and dabbling, but for most people at the level I work with, you are in this stuff. And yet, your results aren't shifting and changing as you know they could be. The output is not matching the input. And at this level of business, at this level of performance, it's not about working harder or another strategy. It's not about doing more, taking more of you or costing more of you to scale your business. It's not. At this level, it's about refinement. It's about potency. It's not about what we do. It's about how we do it. All great concepts. Okay, great. How do I start shifting that? I love to anchor this in with the Olympic athletes I used to work with. At that level of performance, you've done so much work. And we're not saying, look, we are not saying that strategy, how to, and action is not necessary. It absolutely is. But not what created the current results you have now. Not in the way that you have before. At the Olympic level, it's about refining. It's about fine-tuning. It's about being more efficient. Same thing goes for you in your business. Though not what we do, but how we do it changes everything. How we shift, how we see our business, the results we're actually creating, understanding what's actually creating our current results shifts everything. And that's what this is for. We want to get off the hamster wheel of thinking next month will be easier. We want to shift the fuel that we're using to create the results in our business and our lives. And every month that goes by is just diluting our peace and income. Doing more won't make it feel any less heavy. And you want more, even though part of you feels guilty for admitting it. You don't want to sacrifice more time though, in order to reach where you're going. And there's next level work needed. And maybe you're unsure of what that is, but you're being called to go deeper, to shift how you're currently seeing things and how you're currently being, which is exactly what this is about. I don't know about you, but if building legacy in business and where you're going is only stressful and feels like pressure, and you're not even enjoying the experience or the success you've created, what's the point? You know it gets to be better than this, even better than what we've created. I know. You want your experience to shift into feeling pulled towards success versus pushing resistance that we feel most often. And this is exactly what we're going to do here. You cannot have a multi-million-dollar business with a six-figure mindset or nervous system. The results paradigm is the level that 96% of people never tap into. This isn't business strategy or manifesting, but it will help you implement the strategy and refine the action you are taking to become an energetic match to manifest your desires easier and faster. Even that though, listen to that. We've heard this, become an energetic match to your desires. What does that even mean? And how do I break it down to actually have tangible step-by-step ways of doing that? My friend, this is it. Basically, this is the missing piece that makes the other work, which you're a master at, work. Think of it like tuning into a new radio station. Right now, you're tuned into a frequency that has brought you this level of success. But to reach where you're going, 7, 8 figures and beyond, you need to dial into a different station. This new frequency is where ease, flow, and exponential growth reside. It's not about doing more or finding another strategy. It's about shifting your internal frequency to align with your highest potential, doing things differently. What would it look like for you in your business right now if you knew exactly what was creating your current results? Think about that. What does that do? What awareness does that shift for you? If I know exactly why I'm creating this, does that not automatically help you shift out of that right here, right now? What about having the exact awareness of the clarity of how to shift into the desired reality you do want to create? What does that do for you? Does that not shift exactly maybe the current actions or tactics you're taking? What would shift for you to have awareness of known and unknown blocks? We all have blind spots, everyone. And the only way you can know if you have a blind spot or where a blind spot is two things. This is like broccoli and teeth example I like to give. If I have broccoli in my teeth, I only know I have it by someone points out to me and says, "Hey D, you got some broccoli in your teeth." Oh, thanks. AKA your mastermind, your coach, your business mentor. Or 2, I look in the mirror and I can see the broccoli and I'm like, oh, frick, how long was that in my teeth all day? And I get to take it out. At this level, the refinement and the potency is what's going to be the broccoli in your teeth. It's about uncovering the stuff that's slowing us down. It's about we have both foot on the gas and the foot on the brake right now. It is about taking the foot off the brake and making what you're currently doing easier, more effective, more efficient. It's about getting into a space where you can tell exactly where your energy, where your state is, where your intention's at, which will show you exactly what timeline you're creating, which will tell you exactly why you're getting the results you're getting. And by law of cause and effect, which we get into the program, is when you change what's in the cause, the effect by law has to change, aka you're the cause. There's so much that goes into the cause. It's 80%, which most people are missing. And 96% of people won't ever actually tune into in the way that I explain it. But as you change the cause, the effect, your results have to change, which means as you shift, by law, the outside has to shift. And that's my intention with this podcast. You will see not only why you're getting your current results and how you can shift into getting your desired results, but the what and how to begin shifting. Okay, well, what do I do? Each episode is very intentionally layered. So that way, every time you listen to an episode, you have shifts within yourself. You have shifts in consciousness. And that's my intention, is to shift you. Because if you're the cause at your life, you're the cause of your business, as you shift in your perspective, in your awareness, in your consciousness, your outside will shift. Guaranteed. You will not listen to a podcast episode and leave the same person listening to it. This is the work that's behind the actual work we do. And again, we're not saying law of action is not necessary. We live in a 3D world. Law of action, that's your how-to, your strategy, is necessary. But let me remind you, in the business world, it's only 10 to 20% of it. This podcast, this framework is going to tackle the other 80% and tie in major concepts that you've heard of before: neuroscience, high performance, manifestation, universal laws, etc. It's going to combine it in a certain way that is layered. No matter what train of thought you're in, what school of thought you're in, it's going to give you actionable answers and strategies for yourself to create shifts right here, right now. Think of it like this. We're on ground floor in New York City, okay? And on ground floor, you can see what? The buildings around you, the people around you, the taxis, the honking. You can really get yourself there. This series, this framework, this podcast is here to shift you and take you to the penthouse in one of the tallest buildings. You're in the same spot geographically, but what I'm doing is shifting what you're seeing. As you go up to the penthouse, you're like, holy cow, look at that mountain over there, or the garden, or like that person has a pool in their balcony, or you just see so much more. And as you see and gain more awareness, you're able to do different things with that. This is the intention, to shift you, to shift your frequency to a new set point that aligns you with your desired results timeline. So what would that do for you? What would clarity of how you have been achieving your results and how to shift it do for you? And not just from a 3D perspective. What does that mean to your bank account? What does it mean to your feeling of your state, shifting out of stress and pressure into more ease and flow? What does the awareness of known and unknown blocks do for you? Blind spots. You're telling me if you become aware of a blind spot, and the awareness alone begins to shift it. But you're telling me that awareness now of that blind spot that we didn't even know were there, you're now aware of, isn't going to shift your timeline? Of course it is. Why? Because now the cause is shifted. You're the cause. Remember this. And there's also a question of, do you believe it's possible to have more energy, more money, more ease and flow in your life, or not? Because that's already budding up for a lot of us, a paradigm that's different, a different way of thinking, different beliefs, different perspectives. Is it possible for you to recognize that you can actually have more with doing less? I know we've heard this, but what would it actually feel like and be like in your life and business if that were the case? Where the white space that you do have, you're actually enjoying. Where the money that you do have, whether it's coming in or coming out, you're actually enjoying. Where we're shifting the fuel of pressure and stress and heaviness, doing more and getting more into alignment, into flow. A lot of us have been in flow state. How many of us have played sports before? And you're just playing. You're not thinking about playing. When I used to play basketball, I wasn't thinking about dribbling. I wasn't thinking about, oh my gosh, what's my opponent going to do in defense? I was just being. I was just playing. We've all been in flow state, whether we're hiking a mountain or playing piano or you're giving a speech on stage. When you're in your true flow state, you're just being. You're not thinking about being. You're not thinking about business. You're not thinking about the next thing. You're just simply being. What happens if that was possible for you in your everyday life? And you're shifting out of pressure, stress, heaviness, hard work, strategy into flow state, where the magic happens, where the potency happens. This is where we begin to shift into that. So if you're ready to bust through your next income plateau and shift into the paradigm that you're desiring, this is a fundamental framework we start with. So let's get started. Welcome in to the results paradigm.